So almost everybody told me a story about a problem. And what I'm looking for is a possibility that comes from a state. My name is Mr. 2020. You are listening to the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing and one thing only, the wonder-working power of the human imagination. Let's dive in. Right now, I'm nuts about the four mighty ones. I'm writing 2 books on it, building a mini course, because the four mighty ones eliminate the 4 problems. The first problem is you start with a problem and you tell me a story about a problem. And when Neville did that to Abdullah said, "What do you want? What do you want?" And what you want is not a solution to a problem. If you think you want a solution to a problem, you're thinking. You're not noticing. Neville Goddard says the moment you feel a desire, that's when you move into its assumption. Humanity seems to be designed for story or vulnerable to it. And here's why. Because way, way, way back in the old days, when we started developing community, gathering together so that mankind could survive. Again, this is a cool story, isn't it? Around the campfire, we told stories. This is how I killed the buffalo. This is how I got home and the tiger didn't eat me. This is how I met my chick and married her, that kind of stuff. We told the stories around the fire. And they conveyed wisdom. They entertained us with wisdom. And most of the stories that you're entertaining don't give you wisdom. They give you worry. Have you noticed this? But I seem to digress. Humans seem to either be wired for story or vulnerable to it. I love storytelling, by the way. I have nothing against it because I'm 100% human. But also being 100% divine, we have what are called states. And a state is an identity. Happy, loving husband, happy, loving teacher, happy, loving puppy dad. And the state of happy, loving teacher is drawn to talk to you right now. I'm just drawn to. By the way, Manifesting Mastery Deluxe. I think you're nuts if you don't do this. Here's the crass commercial. Ready? You get the 90 original Manifesting Mastery lessons, plus a new video lesson every day, in a whole new format. Really, really cool, good fun. There's one person who doesn't like it, and that's fine, right? Everybody's not gonna like everything. Some people like Chinese food in a can. I don't get it, but that's all right. But here's the deal, guys. You get the original 90 lessons, plus the new videos. They're yours forever. Here's the other thing. You get a private little Facebook. You can join in or not join in. I don't care. But you have community behind you too if you want it. And about every 80, 90 days or so, in other words, sometime during your original 90 days, we do live group calls. You get to join us in a live group call. And we'll have what we want to talk about, but you can ask anything you want to too. It's a lot of fun. And once you're a member, you're always a member. So about every 90 days or so, you can get to join in on a fun live group call with us. Our gift, part of the program, Manifesting Mastery Deluxe. I don't know. Takes maybe 10, 15 minutes a day. I tend to devote a lot more time to what's important to me than that. But a lot of people are more interested in change than fascinated by fun. But I digress. Let's go back to the top. Ready? So I asked a question. What can I imagine for you? And over 80% of the respondents, I love you guys. You told me stories about problems. And that's what you're thinking about. And what people think about, they tell people about. Or they talk to themselves about forever. And they just can't feel it real. The four mighty ones, which I am nuts about, and we've got some cool shit coming up. I said, I got 2 books, a program, all kind of things going on. The four mighty ones, the first mighty one is the producer's a theme. Wouldn't it be cool Wouldn't it be cool? How about if we do this? Happy loving teacher. Wouldn't that be cool? To be a happy loving teacher and change the world with what saved my life? Wow. Compared to if I start with a problem, how can I pay the bills and not sit in traffic and avoid people and still make good money and get some respect? And you get that's flat and it's frustrating because you start with a problem when you need to be starting with the power of possibility. Think about it. Thinking is thinking. Imagining is a whole different ballgame. My name is Mr. 2020. This is the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing and one thing only as the sun slowly rises into my sky, because the songbirds have been singing their sacred song, because this is what I call the time of the producer, the dawn of a new day, and you can experience this at any time. So just for fun right now, I invite you to a moment of, wouldn't it be cool? How about if we do this? Oh, wow. Because that, when a real desire comes upon you, oh my God, I'm having steak today. That's what it's like. Explore that for a moment as we go into the silence. So here's the problem with problems. They're hypnotic, aren't they? You listen to that story, you stare into the fire, and you get consumed by them. And once you're consumed by a problem, you don't have the energy or the ability to really feel it real, do you? Just sort of sit around. Oh dear. Can't figure your way out of this one. I hope it happens. You know what hope is. If doubt is a turd, hope is a turd with sprinklies on top. But I digress. So I invite you today, Manifesting Mastery Deluxe. I don't know how you can pass all that stuff up unless you really sit down and think it through for a long time. You got a choice. You can hesitate, you can wait, or you can celebrate. My name is Mr. 2020. This is the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing and one thing only. Well, wonder-working power, the human imagination. Have a great day. See ya. And join us. Really, come on. ManifestingMasteryDeluxe.com. See ya.